Johnny Stephen there for IrishBoxing.com with Mark Dunlop. Mark, you're all excited after signing Joe Fitzpatrick. A big fan, obviously.
Yes, a very big fan of Joe Fitzpatrick. I first came across Joe 2 years ago and went to watch him boxing the Ulster. I think it was the second Ulster title that he won. He was fighting the Ulster Elite Champion and the Irish Elite Champion, Sean McComb. I actually didn't go to watch Joe that night. I went down with one of my trainers, Tony Dunlop. We went to watch a couple of potential signings, and this young kid came out. He was 18 at the time, and everyone was talking about, obviously how good Sean is, and Sean is that good. So this kid came out and blew me away. He won the fight. He won 2 of the 3 rounds, in my opinion, and he won the Ulster Elite Champion. So then there was a whole hoorah about it over the next year, and then I went to watch him again. Sean never entered the next competition. The next Ulster, the year later, Joe did. He won them again. That was 3 Ulster titles. So the Ulster titles are equivalent to the Northern Ireland titles, so he deserved his place in the Commonwealth Games. But amateur boxing being what it is, and why so many leave it, they ordered a box off, which Joe again won, in my opinion, comfortably. And he went there and he won a silver medal. It was unbelievable. The press here that week of the games that he was fighting of the 2 weeks, 5 hard weeks. He beat world number 7 en route. Remember this kid was just turned 19 at the time. It was phenomenal, but a phenomenal feat to do that there. He showed he deserved to be amongst that squad. But then, as I say, he come back and he's been on at me to go, and I said, look, just wait until you're 100%. Have a good think, see if you can get up, the whole qualifying process again. You look what happened to Stephen Donnelly, which was, he won all them fights all around the world against top class opponents, and he's still not even guaranteed a place. That's sick. That's the only word I can use for that there. So I'm glad he didn't, and he's enough experience. He's been boxing since he was 5. He's a fantastic coach, Nugget Nugent, fantastic trainer, Martin Lindsay as well, Alfredo O'Malley. James Friars, the guys that have come out of that gym are phenomenal. Tony Dunlop takes James Tennyson over there every day, and the spars with Friars, Tennyson and Fitzpatrick are, it's unbelievable. So
what's the plan for him then, Mark?
For Joe?
Yeah, I know.
Well, he's 20 years of age.
There's
no look. He's 20 years of age. Again, he has to settle into. It's a big leap from pro to amateur, like your amateur to pro. Sorry, it's a big leap to make and settle. And we've got him all the time in the world. But the thing about it is, he's got heart. He's got talent. He's got skill. He's a southpaw. He's got everything. All the attributes and all the greats. All my kids have all turned pro at 19. They weren't bothered about the whole senior thing. A lot of the kids here, as turn over too late. Whenever 22, 23, when these kids are pumping, everyone else is 29, 30. How are they going to keep a 23-year-old guy off with a fantastic record? It's just exciting. You think yourself, Carl Frampton, he turned professional at 21. James Tennyson, for an example, is where Carl was on the exact same stage. He's Celtic champion. He's 12, 13 fights, but he's only 21, the same age as whenever a Carl Frampton turned pro. So with all the world and all the time.
Does it give you a bit more time if they turn over younger, to grow them? You can be a bit more patient with them.
Yes, you have to physically develop and mature, into an adult and get stronger all the time. I don't care how people say I match them. I match them, step them up slowly. But they have to be ready. They have to be ready. When their time's right, they have to be able to not just win, but stay champion. Like what Carl's done is fantastic, and Shane McGuigan's done a fantastic job bringing them along. Step by step. Carl's improving all the time, and that's the way these kids go. But if they can get there at 23, 24, look at Mayweather. All the greats, they all turned pro 18, 19. They weren't worried about the whole carrying on to 24, 25. I'm lucky and blessed to have them that age. And believe me, and I'm going to say this now, I've never asked anybody to sign with me, including Joe Fitzpatrick. They have all came to me, and that's why I will do everything for them. I haven't chased anybody. I work for these guys. These guys are my future. That's the way I've got to look at it. And if I look after them, they'll look after me, and that's why the people can go on about how good they are. And, great boxers make great trainers and all this here, but these guys, it is the boxers. It's not about me. It's about the boxers.
And then just a word on the June 6 show.
Yeah.
A good card, and D Walsh topping the bill. Were you saying the promoters are already interested in D?
Yes, there's. I just have to. Yeah, I don't want to give a name because, I want to keep my options open. That's the bottom line. There's still plenty of time. What I want to see is that this guy is a tough guy. This guy is,
that he's fighting.
Yes, believe me, I've seen this guy. I was actually in his corner, fighting for a WBO youth title, which is the youth world title. He went 10 hard rounds with a guy. This was at middleweight. Now the guy is only a light middle. He went 10 hard rounds, with a guy who's now rated number 6 in the world at middleweight, a guy called Mark Nagy. Now, if D can equal that or do better, believe me, I will be really excited. I just have to. I don't sell souls. I just want to get them to the potential that they can fulfil. I have to know that I don't want to put them on a big stage. Do you understand? For a Commonwealth title or a British title, and they're not ready. Like all of a sudden, somebody's hitting them back, and he's going, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? That happened. God forbid with James Tennyson, he was wiping everybody out, and all of a sudden, somebody threw one back, and it caught him. Them days are gone. We all learned a lesson from that. Even James has got rock solid defence now. You can take nobody for granted in this game. This is the hurt business. So,
and James is close to a British title shot.
Listen,
if you get one of them a British title, does it make it easier then for the rest?
Well, they're all. It's an umbrella.
Yeah.
As I said earlier on in that interview, they're all that talented in themselves and everyone, they all have egos. Everyone has an ego, don't they? And I've told them all that I'll rotate them all to who has a night. Who has the night of who tops the bill. But they have to understand, to put your name to a headline, you have to have a headline fight. And they've all done that. James Tennyson done it the last time. Even the fights of Paul Hyland, who couldn't make it today, he's been in. Paul Hyland has had 6 great fights. The experience he's learned in them fights, anyone that's seen it, he's so exciting. And this guy who he's fighting as well. You can't afford to slip up with these guys. But this is what the level they're at. They're going to get hit back. You know what I mean? This is so. Whenever the time comes, you can go around and fight all these guys. What's the point? It doesn't matter where they come from. If they're winning fights, they're good fighters. Now some of these, like English journeymen, they've 60 losses and 2 wins and all. What's the point in wasting the money? I want to fight a kid who can win a fight. Doesn't matter whether it's in his home country or not, or what language he speaks. I want my kids, to know that it's not all a bed of roses. So whenever the time comes, and they're better doing that here in their own home show.
Have you any sort of time frame for when the time is for any certain fighters?
Well,
or is it
James Tennyson's time is now. There's no doubt about that. Because again, he's in a division with 32 fighters. When I say division, I mean in Britain. Again, if we got that, it would be nice to have that 3 or 4 and then move up. James is growing too. He's 21 as well. D Walsh, I'd say these 3 fights away from a major title fight, but we'll see after the 6th of June. And I will know. Everyone will know how real D Walsh is. Believe me, this will be some fight.
You're definitely looking forward to the show.
Oh, I am. It's don't get me wrong. I'll get nervous near the time, like everybody else does. Nervous for them. Do you understand? Nervous for them because this, their whole. It's not the end of the world. But what I'm saying is, it could be the beginning.
The way you were talking, the top table is, you're keeping them busy. You're on a big show. They're promoted well. Are you looking to eventually promote the big shows? Or are you hoping to get promoters involved?
I can do that. But what's the point? What is the point of this stage? Do you understand? Like these different cattle fights, these 25, he's ready for it. I want to know he's ready for it. So I'd like to move the on to 216. If you done a big title fight,
would you put it on yourself here? Or
if I had to, yes, there's no problem. You've seen the sponsors.
Come in and
well, I know they will. I've already been told. But again, can you imagine? Like filling the Odyssey Arena. You have to get them up to level. These guys are doing that job. You're building their profile. But when you get them up to that level, you have to understand that, like, can you imagine filling that Ross Arena to get chinned? They have to know they're ready, they can do all that. I mean, like, as I say, what Barry's done with Carl is phenomenal. There's no doubt about that. He's got him on that. Well, it wasn't just Barry, let's be honest, it was the whole Sky TV, the whole persona being built up. But now he's the man. He's the Kaiska of Irish boxing and British boxing at that level, at that weight. So why can't any of these guys do that there? I mean, to be honest with you, like, they're as good as amateurs what Carl was. There's no doubt about that. There's no anyone will tell you the word. They've just had good management, which is what I'm doing. And that people can call and do whatever they want because they need us, we don't need them. And that's funny. I heard Brian McGuigan saying that himself. They need us, we don't need them. That is the saying. Patience is a virtue. So we've plenty of time to say they are.
Are you looking to add to the stable, or are you happy with who you've got?
I want to get listen. Since I've been running shows here for 3 years since I've come back to Northern Ireland, there's been Ali Wilton does a fantastic job. I will not have a bad word said about him. People talk about doing shows. I hear it all the time. Ali puts his money where his mouth is. You know what I mean? I do the same myself.
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is, if you take out Carl Frampton, we're all the same. I mean, the Waterfront show was fantastic last year, but it was empty. It was maybe too big too soon. I don't want. Do you understand? I don't want to hire the big venues and have them sitting half full. I'd rather have the small ones and people queuing up to get in. Yeah. It's unbelievable. The atmosphere in the Devonies is unbelievable. Holds 800 people.
It's because the bar is open all the time.
But that feeds it, makes the night, doesn't it? Everyone's a winner. You know what I mean? Apart from me, of course, on the way home, looking for a lift. So getting back to that, if you like, that Waterfront brawl was fantastic last June, but the fights were great, but there wasn't enough people there. You know what I mean? They weren't at that level. If Carl Frampton had been on that bill, you couldn't get in the doors. That's what I'm saying. So why put all that out? Put all that money out whenever they're doing what they're doing now. They're in their home issue. But even that last one, the Andersonstown Leisure Centre, could have had more in it. It was the next big step up.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to go back to Devonies. The Devonies again, they're fantastic supporters, and until we get a fight big enough to go to a bigger venue where it's going to attract the whole community of Northern Ireland, then we're happy to just do what we're doing. But as I say, I'm going on here again. They have other promoters are now working with me because I'm easy to work with, right? I'm not selling myself here. What I'm saying is, I've had Ram Burnett on, Big Tommy McCarthy's been on, I've had Ali Wilton's one's on, Tyrone's been on, Mark McCulloch's been on. I've offered to put Conrad Cummings on. There's no, I don't ask anything in return. Even young Kieran McFarlane, Frank Warren, and these guys know they're all coming back to me now when I can get. And if I get one slot in their shows or whatever, it all because believe me, like one day Carl Frampton was going to say, I've had enough of this. I've made my money or whatever. Someone else has got to come through, and people will need me because I've got the team to do that. And that's what I'm hoping and banking on. Please, Lord.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks a million.